Hello there, I am Man in Yellow and welcome back to the Road to Some of All Fears series for Arena. In this one we will be opening the first scary pack after I win 2 more matches, then I'll have enough. And I don't know if I'll play after that, but I still think that is pretty exciting because your first rare can matter a lot for the account, or it cannot matter at all depending on what you get. But it can be a very big deal what you get from the first scary pack if you get something good. I think I'm still going for double 1 key here, even though my 4 keys aren't as good as they might otherwise be. Like I can't go Innocuous or Gonzo Bonzo, obviously, like I often do on this map. I don't know if those are even correct, but those are just what I've been doing. 3 1 keys. We can't kill that. I guess I'm just going to take this. That was kind of what I was planning to do in the first place. The only problem with that is that I can't put a mech out here because I don't have any. If I had K9000, it would be placed right here, right now. But I do not. So that's a bit annoying. What do I want to do then? Not really a good thing to do, to be honest. Guess I just go Gonzo, maybe. I think at lower ranks, Alligator is actually a good idea on this map, to be honest. You can probably like abuse the lava and be really annoying near the heart. I mean, they can always break the block, but yeah, you can probably be very annoying towards them. What are they doing now? What they were doing up until now makes sense. This does not make any sense. Unbearable on lava. Both of these on lava. Like, what is going on there? That made no sense. I mean, both of these are just dead for free. Do I just go Gator? I probably shouldn't. I should just go Primate to the middle so that I can fight really well. But I'm just gonna go Gator anyway because I feel like it. And honestly, the second they put both of those phobies up there, they probably lost the match. So I can go for whatever I want here, I'm pretty sure. They also put their Unbearable on lava. Not really sure what the idea with that was. Honestly, I think this is a bot. If you're not a bot, you don't do this, right? This is probably just a bot. I hope this isn't a human, to be honest. That would be a bad sign for humanity if we are playing like this. I really hope they at some point get actual good AI and then have that as an actual thing in the game. That would be pretty cool. Like either a mode or something you could choose to play against. It would honestly go pretty hard if they made a story mode for this game. Because like the art style and stuff like that is super cool. So I think that would be pretty nice if they decided to do that. But that is also something that costs a good lot of money probably to like make. So maybe they won't make something like that, even though it would be very cool. This is definitely a bot though. I weren't really sure in the turn 1 because there were multiple 1 keys and they weren't in lava or anything, but with how much they put their phobies in lava, there's no way this is a player. And it also plays everything instantly. I'm just going to hit the heart here to make this a little bit faster. I should be able to kill them next turn. I mean, I'm definitely able to kill them next turn. I have a gator next to their heart. And they are not even moving their phobies towards me, so this is 100% a bot. We already knew that some time ago, obviously. Like, as soon as they did the one place up here, we knew that was definitely a bot. That is some AI movement. But they could probably make pretty good bots for the game if, like, they actually invested into that. Because this is kind of... I mean, it's not exactly similar to chess, but it has kind of the same vibe, right? And chess has some very advanced bots. Like, better than humans. So... it should be possible to make something like that for this too. Maybe not quite as good because there's a lot more variables here. But you can definitely make a bot that's better than what we have right now. Because the bot there is right now just puts everything on lava for no reason. And I don't know what, like... that doesn't teach players to, like, play the game at all either. There's no point in even having those kind of bots. You should just either not have bots or make them slightly more competent, I think. Because, like, if you're a new player playing against an AI that just puts all of their phobies in lava and dies, like, what do you even get from that? Don't even feel good after or anything. That is very interesting. Taking that point, because I can't even do anything against that, I don't think. Is there even any way of dealing with that, actually? Yes, there is. There's Jar Cannon. That's a terrible play. How could I forget Jar Cannon? That just makes that not a play. I was like, there's no way you can kill it with a flyer, but you just do this. And then the drone is gone. If Jar Cannon couldn't do that, that would actually be a pretty cool play to try and higher ranks, like a droney here and double one key. But when the droney just dies to a Jar Cannon, that obviously doesn't make any sense then. $450, so that would kill my Jar if it gets to it. Which just means I'm not gonna let them get to it, obviously. Actually, the Jar couldn't be here. Do I want a turret this turn, or do I want Murder Wing? Murder Wing protects the top point, but I don't even think I really care about the top point, to be honest. This is fine. Like, I can just reclaim it if I want to. But most of these matches, I'm just gonna fight their phobies. Because that's easier or faster to win with than panic points. Of course, depending on what they're doing. Sometimes it's faster to just kill the heart if they're really playing badly. This is a bit of a question mark, even if, like, if this was a normal play, I would still think this is weird, putting the primate here, because now I get to take the stim pad with my Jar Cannon. And I don't think I ever really have to move off it either, if I don't want to. I don't even know if I will stand on the stim pad, actually, because it might be better to just keep it here. And walk the bow out, so that we protect our panic point. But I could also just hold this and then run this down here. And that is pretty good. And then maybe we go for a Gesundheit. Just to be able to bang some keys. I completely forgot to check the level on this thing. I should make it a habit to check the levels of phobies in this series. Because they might end up being over-leveled enough that something like a Tooth Fairy can kill a Jar Cannon. Obviously not going to be the case this early on, but later in the challenge that is definitely something that could happen, I think. See, this is why I kind of like thought about keeping the Jar down here. Because maybe that would help against this kind of play. But also if they do this play, I will just kill the Tooth Fairy. So it's not even really bad for me. I think they would have to play very fast. Okay, they just banked as I said that. I think they should have played very fast if they were doing something like this. Like maybe they put a Murderwing more behind, or they put 3 1-keys out or something weird like that. That could help them. Also, I'm just going to give up on this Gesundheit. It's going to die either way. Just let it tank the damage. Actually, should I even put that there? Can they punish me for that? Yes, they can, so I should put it here. The way to punish me for doing that is breaking this block with Gravedigger, going there with Jar Cannon, killing this, and then jumping on the Jar Cannon with the Primate. That would be a bit of a punish. But also, I don't think they would win the game off doing that, so maybe I should have just let them if they wanted to try and do that. Could have just put my Primate here, and then if they do that, I just jump on it and insta-kill the Primate. And then it's a Jar Cannon for a Primate, which is a good deal. And a Gesundheit for a Tooth Fairy, which is also a good deal. But here I just get both of them for a Gesundheit, which is a very, very good deal. And they are another player who summons a big unit when they are behind. I don't understand how that's the conclusion that new player comes, all come to. I could understand if it was just a fewer people that had that thought pattern, but it seems to be literally every new player in the game who thinks that way. And I don't really get it. Because there's nothing that makes it seem like that's what you should be doing. There's nothing that in the tutorial that makes it seem like that's a good idea. There's nothing that really puts you towards that, but everyone seems to do it, out of the new players. As soon as they fall behind on the board, they bang for either Erratic or Alligator. It really doesn't make any sense. And it goes on for a while until you're at a fairly high rank, people do this. Well, not high rank, but you know what I mean, at a point where you're starting to see people with actual levels, there are still ones doing this for no reason whatsoever. This Erratic should also not have been all the way up here. It can't even target my phobies if I just go on their hard now, like this. Could even run here, but this is better, I think. And then what do I want to bring? Evo, maybe? Could also just sheep them. Now they won't even feel like walking forward, I think. Evo might be a better choice still. I mean, they can't even walk into the Evo with the Erratic. Because they would just lose the Erratic then. I really hope I get either a cool or a good rare. Please don't be just like Jackalope King. That would be a bit dull. Or some support phobia I can't use, like some niche support. That would also be annoying. Probably just kill them next turn, actually. I mean, I certainly do. Because I have 1600 damage in these, and they're taking 6 every turn. Which means they just die from this. Right? Yeah, they do. Just end it quick. Sometimes it's faster to just kill them through the heart when they misplay like this, because they haven't even spent all of their keys yet. So you just hit the heart. It's especially when you're against people who screw up early on. So I'm getting plus 46 already. They really need to remove like the extra points for this. People should not be ranking up extra fast in this game. That is really, really bad for the game. Because like, imagine I'm a new player and in like 50 more games I'm at Doomsday or something. And I have level 4 or 5s at that point. And I'm playing against someone who has level 17s. Do you think people are gonna continue playing the game if they like get into a game and 1 weekend they are like that? Probably not. I would say. I certainly wouldn't keep playing if I had that experience, I don't think. So that is pretty bad. Either way, this is the big moment for this. To see what we get. Is it something good? Not really. That's pretty niche. Usable, but it's not great. Whatever. It's fine, I guess. It could be a lot worse. It's not something I'm gonna be using a lot, but we could see it played sometimes. At least until I get Miss Muffet. I might play it a bit. Also, I should upgrade this Gravedigger, I think. This is a permanent phobia. Same thing for the Hevo. Those are ones I will be using for all time. I should be trying to reach stress level 10 as fast as possible. Which you can do very quickly, obviously. It's like 3 days of playing, maybe even 2. Depending on how much you play. Like how lucky you get with cards and whether you do daily doubles and stuff. Is there anything else I want to upgrade? Maybe I should just be upgrading something for the sake of getting cards. Like the Primate I might use for a while. Guess I'll do that one. Doesn't really matter. I end up getting a bit more XP than I need for those specific units, I think. So we can do this, and then we get Razormouth cards, so we can also upgrade the Razormouth. Which is pretty important. Keeping your Razormouth high level as a new player is actually very important. Because it makes you able to fight the opponent's Razormouth. Like if I faced a Razormouth that was level 4, while mine is level 3, then mine can't kill theirs, but theirs can kill mine. So you really, really don't want that. That is very bad if that happens. Which is why upgrading your 1 keys is very important. It also just makes it so they often have to waste another hit on it when you capture a point. Which can be a pretty big deal. Especially if they are unable to kill it. Like if you have a high level Tickles and the opponent can't 2-hit it. And suddenly they can't kill it and you just get to take points for free. That is often game winning. Or at least something close to that. Okay, that's a combatant opener. That's what you should be doing on turn 1 on this map. Should I go Snappy just because it's more fun? What else would I be going for? I would go this into this. I don't really want either of these, I don't think. Then it would be to bank for one of these. Am I gonna do that? Probably not. Let's just go Snappy instead of the Bomangles. I guess I could have done Bomangles just to get a 1 key out with it. Take this point early. That might have been a good idea. But they're probably walking up here and then I just mirror it. So, not really needed. Oh, they're doing the actual correct opener here. I don't know if... like, if that block is better to destroy, maybe it is. I haven't actually figured that out yet. Destroying this block up here makes it easier to access the stim pad from the vault. But destroying this here makes it easier to move your phobies around. So both destructions or like takes, whatever you want to call it, are pretty good. As player 2, I think you should do this because otherwise they could go super aggressive and put their bow here. Maybe, but they're not gonna do that. But like you could in theory do that. If you have opened it here, they're never gonna do that. So they would just like get overwhelmed. Oh, they're actually taking the middle. That is also a correct play. They are playing competently here. That's the first time we see that. And they're even threatening the Snappy with that. That is pretty good. Actually a good opponent who is making use of their player 1 advantage here. Can this die? I should check. 5-10. No, not even close. Snappy is just a little bit tanky. Probably shouldn't place this here. Where should this be? Should get a Bowmangus out, I think. I could also just hit their unit. I can't kill that with mine. Also can't kill it with this at all. So I could just walk up and hit it like this. That's probably better than hitting the Gravedigger here. I think I'd do something like this. And then we drop the Bowmangles in. I wish I had like a Saki or something here. Saki with a 1-key would go pretty hard in this situation. That would be a lot of power. Really, they're double hitting. They're just straight up fighting me. That's very interesting. Are they putting the Gravedigger here then, if they're doing that? Or maybe they redecided? No, they didn't. They're hitting this. Oh, they're killing the Gravedigger with their own. But then that would put them in range of me murdering it, winging it. I think this is the best choice, actually, instead of fighting me hard. I took a bit of damage on this, but they also took some damage on the Jar Cannon, so it's not a big deal. How much damage does the bow have? 458, that's definitely enough, right? Yeah, it's too much for my Jar Cannon to go up there. And try and hit it. I should destroy this block next. It's annoying my positioning. Also, should I even move my Snappy out of here? Maybe my Snappy should stay around. Just sit here. Do something like this. Do I want to bank for Erratic? It's pretty good into what they have. The only problem with it is sheep. The alternative would be Murderwing. But that's not a good play here. Could also go for a 1-key. I don't really like that though. I think I'm just going to do this. Destroy the block next turn. I don't think they're going to go down here again. Maybe they do. Just walk this down here and hit me. Walk forward with the K9000. That could be a play that they do. They could actually create a wall around it. I think that's what they should do here. Okay, luckily they're not doing that. I think they would probably be able to win the game if they did that, actually. We can look at this game after, because this is an actual good opponent. So this is worth looking over, I think. Well, I don't know if they're good yet, but I can say that they are better than what we've faced up until now. I think I summoned the Jar Cannon now, actually, because they stayed in range. And I can protect it here. And then we bring Murderwing down here. Maybe. Is that the best choice I have? Probably. Could also just be a 1-key. I can't bring it further down than this, because then it dies. Or it can die. Is this really better than just a 1-key, though? No. I don't think it is. I think that is better. I can sacrifice this next turn if I want to. I think this is a lot better for me. The opener was really good here. But I think I made a mistake last turn, actually. I think they should have played that from there. We can also sheep them if I want to, or Gralien them maybe. Gralien is actually very good against what they're sitting on right now. So that might be my play. Just do something like this, I think. What is the worst thing they can do for me here? Take the stim with the Jar Cannon and hit me, maybe? Maybe I move this all the way back. A little bit overly defensive, but I think that's fine here. Maybe I should be for a turn. also a consideration to maybe go all the way up here and take the point and play very aggressive, but I don't think that's correct. Nice. Now they're sacrificing K9000. That is exactly what I want. We are probably going Graylian here, actually. This is a situation where it's actually good for me. We are attacking with the Snappy to get the maximum amount of healing from it here. And then we will move this down here, I think. Maybe I just move it one back. It's probably better. We'll grab Mr. Graylian. The Graylian is great here because it threatens the Erratic really, really well. And on top of that, if it swaps with the Erratic, then that means that the Erratic or the Graylian is on a stim pad, which makes it very, very threatening for them on top of that. Oh, looks like we get to see what their first rare was too. Trivolta. That is a phobia that is probably worse than Graylian to get as your first one, so that's unfortunate for them. I would rather have Graylian than Trivolta. I don't think I've ever seen anyone at high ranks try and play Trivolta seriously. Like, without it being for fun. Graylian is still very threatening for them in this position, because we have a Jar Cannon on the stim pad, and the attack zone of the Jar Cannon lays out here. So if we swap with them, we can still double hit with the Jar Cannon, which is very nasty. This is probably a good reason to do this, I would say. Because then this has better, like, coverage of the map. And I could have moved the Snappy one up for the same reason. If they keep moving back, I will just take the middle point here. I can even do this maybe. But they have theirs up, right? Yeah, then I probably shouldn't do that. I could have blocked them out if they didn't have the ability up. I mean, the blocking out is actually still fine to do-ish. But this is just better. Just do this. We only move that up here. We move this down here. Do I move this all the way down also? Probably not. There's no need to, right? This is very, very toxic for them. Because they probably don't have any way of dealing with Graylian here. This is essentially just a Miss Muffet, but with one extra swap range in this situation. That's what Graylian really is. And that is pretty decent. It's nothing compared to pre-nerf Duck Holiday though. That was essentially like Graylian's effect, except you got to stay safe. That's like ridiculous. If we swap with this now, we can't kill, right? Just a quick test here. Oh, I also shouldn't swap in that position. That would be the wrong place to go. This would be the right place to go, right? Actually, I don't think it matters. 4, 8, 12. No, that's not enough. I guess we just do this. Stay in the same position. I don't really need to do anything here. What I was afraid of was them using the Gravedigger Stone to get AoE attacks on me. So maybe I keep this here. This would be enough damage if they stay around. I could also move this down here now, I think. Even though it's way less power. Wait, no, I can't do that, because then the Gravedigger gets moved back. Then I would have to move the Gravedigger into another position, which would give up pressure up here, so I don't like that. Half of their phobies are very damaged here, so that's also a bit of a problem for them. But if they try and fight, I will very quickly overwhelm them by just killing the damaged phobies, and then they will only have 1 or 2 left. Okay, they just lost the game, I'm pretty sure. They passed the turn when they couldn't pass the turn. That was not allowed here. I think. Maybe I'm miscalculating the damage. I think this is enough damage though. Could be that the levels are screwing up the math here. Nope. They are just dead. That is game over. Even though it's a 7 key for a 6 key, this places them in a horrible position, tempo-wise. Like, yeah, they get to kill Gralien pretty easily, but then what do they have left? Just damaged units and this Trivolta, which can't do much. And this also deals damage to one of them. So even though it's a 7 key for a 6 key, it's really not the case, because that was their win condition going bye-bye. And I still have 4 keys. So, what do I do here? I can kill both of these two. The Jar Cannon and the Cassowary. I probably just do that, right? I think that's just good to do. Do I use this to block with? I probably do. Or do I? That might not be worth it, actually. Maybe we just don't even do that. Force them to go in is maybe better. Like, we just go back to this kind of thing. And we wait for our 4 key to arrive. Which 4 key do I want? Just Primate for something fast? I guess so. I can also stay here with this, probably. As long as we're out of the range of this one's ability, we can just stay forward, actually. And that's fine. This sets up a bit of a better attack when I eventually want to go in. We can just start doing something else here. Okay, they are still playing passively. I will slowly move up towards their heart now. Even if they get a good Trivolta, I don't think that saves them here, also. I'm threatening their heart now, right? Or not their heart, the Gravedigger now, right? No, I'm not even threatening the Gravedigger. I don't have enough damage. I would need both the Snappy and the Pomangles up here. I would have taken a couple turns of moving around, but I guess they're tired of that stuff, maybe. I can also just poke them next turn, though, so that's also a thing. Like, I just do this. I don't need to actually fight them either. Let me swap these two positions. Because that's better, I think. I don't even need to actually like fight them here, because they can't fight back, so I just hit them. Either way, this game ended some time ago, but their opener was actually good. This is the best player we have faced so far. They probably should not be using Trivolta. But they probably just wanted to try out their new phobia. That is not a thing I can't understand. People like to do that. What do I kill here? Gravedigger and Jar Cannon, maybe? Something like that. Can we do better? Not really. I guess we can kill these two. Just keep the Jar Cannon back here where it's safe. That's probably a better idea. We just do something like this. And we can actually block out Mr. Trivolta. This does mean that they can kill my Jar Cannon. But actually I could do this, right? This blocks them from killing my Jar Cannon. And it also blocks them from using the ability on these two phobies. Not that it matters at this point, I'm just speeding up the game a little bit by doing that. But it's still the correct kind of play to do. If this was like a closer game. I think I screwed up the early game actually though. They could have won this game if they played really well during the early stages for a new player, but they were just a little bit off, I think, from being able to do like the crazy kind of things in here. They can't hit this, right? No, they can't. That is a cool animation for a not so cool phobia. I don't think I've seen that animation outside of the trailer actually, like ever. They just die here. We don't need to fight their phobies anymore. Too far behind on hard health. Not that they would win that fight ever. I think if they had been very aggressive during the turn where I had the snappy down here, they could have won. So I set myself up in a bad way, I would say. But I'm also playing a little bit differently, almost like to end games faster. Just because I'm against mostly players who have no idea what they're doing. So I wouldn't be doing this against actual high-level players. Wasn't this turn? Which player? This turn here. They could have done some good things on, I think. Or this turn, I guess it would be. On this turn of theirs, what they should have done is walk the jar cannon down here onto the stim pad, hit my snappy, then they walk up with the K9000 here. They walk up with the Gravedigger and they place a block in front, and then they move the Bowmangles down here. They can probably put it right here, right? Something like that would have been very annoying for me, probably. Wouldn't have been game-endingly bad or anything, but I think that would have been bad. How did the previous turn here look? This was the one where they were considering to go aggressive, right? Where they could have killed my Gravedigger and then hit here. They should probably have done that, actually, also. If they played more aggressive, I probably should have played it a little bit differently. I should have brought more 1-keys instead of the Bowmangles. Like, this should have been a 1-key with maybe a Gesundheit or something. Or maybe Eternal Night. It's a bit weird because I don't have good small phobies right now. But I definitely should have done something differently. If they had just killed the Gravedigger with their own Gravedigger and the Jar Cannon, moved down here and hit the Snappy, put like K9000 out here and a 1-key out here, then maybe they would have had a path of like playing aggressive this game. So their opener was actually good, they just didn't really follow it up correctly there. Either way, I think I'm just going to end this episode here, because that is enough for one, and then I'll do another for the same day. I think I'll split each day into 2 episodes for most of this, because that just makes the most sense. That's like 2 or 3 games per day. Maybe more if I do daily double, but yeah. I don't know if I'll do daily doubles or not. Kind of depends on whether I want to go for a coffee pack. Usually I like barely reach 2000 when I'm already at Sum of All Fears, and then it's not really that exciting to get the ultra rare. So maybe I should go for a horrific pack, or maybe I should just spam the daily doubles for some extra cards and stuff. I don't actually know what is the best idea. I guess it depends on what people want to see. I would imagine most people would want me to save for an ultra rare, because that's just more exciting. It's probably better for me to just go for a rare, because like I don't even really get to play with the ultra rare most of the time. So like, what's the point then? Either way, that was all I had for this episode, so I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching, and bye.